The Yellow River winds its way across northern China, cradling the birthplace of Chinese civilization. Here, centuries before recorded history began, humans tamed the river's flow and planted the seeds of one of the longest-lasting and influential cultures in human history. This is ancient China. Hi, welcome to Mez Studios, Part 4 of Ancient World, where we bring you the greatest stories from the dawn of humanity. Today we travel back to the cradle of Chinese civilization along the Yellow River, where over 2,000 years ago, a series of powerful dynasties thrived, shaping the course of history. We'll meet the first emperors of United China, witness the construction of the Great Wall, uncover philosophical teachings that shaped ethics across Asia, and marvel at artistic traditions that continue to inspire today. So fasten your time-traveling seatbelts and get ready for an adventure through ancient China. Our journey begins with the Shang Dynasty, which ruled from roughly 1600 to 1046 BC in the lower Yellow River Valley. Though shrouded in mythology, the Shang were a significant step in human progress. According to historical records, they were the first to establish cities, construct defensive walls, and field large standing armies. Their social structure was complex, their economy prosperous, and their art and rituals highly refined. The Shang excelled in bronze casting, creating exquisite ritual vessels and weapons. They also developed a sophisticated system of writing, initially using oracle bones to record divination and later crafting intricate documents on bronze and then jade. However, the Shang dynasty's reign came to an end around 1046 BC when the neighboring Zhou tribe, known for their advanced military tactics and societal organization, overthrew the Shang and established the Western Zhou dynasty. The Western Zhou lasted from 1045 to 771 BC, marking a pivotal era in ancient China. During this period, Chinese society became increasingly stratified with a clear hierarchy between the nobility, peasantry, and merchants. This new social order prompted many philosophers to ponder the nature of justice, propriety, and the ideal way to govern. Confucius, widely regarded as the most influential philosopher in Chinese history, was born during the Western Zhou. His teachings, which emphasized personal and governmental morality, ancestor veneration, and a hierarchical social order, deeply impacted the cultural and political landscape of China, influencing everything from art and literature to government policies. Meanwhile, during the Spring and Autumn period, which spanned from 770 BC to 446 BC, China saw the rise of several powerful states like Qi, Jin, Chu, and Wu. These states frequently competed for supremacy, resulting in a dynamic era marked by military innovations, political intrigue, and cultural flourishing. For example, during this time, the concept of junzi, an ideal type of scholar gentleman combining intellectual prowess, moral integrity, and physical refinement, emerged. The Spring and Autumn period also witnessed the development of early Chinese poetry, including the famous Songs of the South. This rich tapestry of cultural and intellectual achievements laid the groundwork for the subsequent rise of China as a major world power. In 221 BC, after decades of relentless campaigning, the first emperor of a unified China, Qin Shi Huang, stood victorious. Under his autocratic rule, the Qin dynasty implemented sweeping reforms. They standardized weights and measures, currency, and even the written language, forging a sense of national unity. One of the most iconic projects undertaken during the Qin dynasty was the construction of the Great Wall, an extensive fortification system designed to protect the empire's northern borders from nomadic invaders. While much of the wall was later rebuilt and expanded by subsequent dynasties, the Qin's efforts laid the foundation for this monumental structure. After Qin Shi Huang's death in 210 BC, his empire fragmented into several states, setting the stage for the next dynasty, the Han. The Han dynasty, which lasted from 206 BC to 220 AD, ushered in an era of territorial expansion, economic prosperity, and cultural brilliance. Emperor Wu of Han, considered one of China's greatest rulers, further extended the empire's borders, incorporating vast regions into the imperial fold. The establishment of the Silk Road during the Han Dynasty marked a significant turning point in world history. This network of trade routes facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies between China and the West, profoundly impacting both regions. From China, silk, porcelain, and gunpowder traveled eastward, while horses, glassware, and precious metals flowed westward. More importantly, the Silk Road served as a conduit for cultural exchange, fostering diplomatic missions and missionary activities that spread religions and philosophies across continents. For instance, Buddhism made its way from India to China via the Silk Road, profoundly influencing Chinese religious and philosophical thought. Inventions and innovations flourished during the Han. The compass, papermaking, and the wheelbarrow significantly impacted daily life and facilitated advancements in science and technology. Paper, invented by Kai Luen, revolutionized communication and record-keeping. Meanwhile, advances in astronomy led to the creation of accurate calendars, aiding agriculture and navigation. The Han Dynasty's embrace of Confucianism as a state ideology further shaped its political and social order. The examination system, which tested candidates on Confucian principles and historical texts, became a cornerstone of imperial bureaucracy, providing a meritocratic path to government service. This emphasis on education and scholarship contributed to the flourishing of arts and literature during the dynasty. Works like the Shiji by Sui Ma Qian and the Chuanqiu by Lu Buwei provided valuable insights into Chinese society, history, and thought. However, towards the end of the Han, internal strife, economic challenges, and nomadic incursions from the northwest led to a decline in central authority. By 220 AD, the dynasty had fragmented, giving way to the Three Kingdoms period. This era of disunity, often depicted in the epic novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms, lasted until 280 when the Jin dynasty reunified China. By the time of the Jin, China had undergone significant transformations. Cities had grown, trade had flourished, and cultural achievements had multiplied. The Jin dynasty, though relatively short-lived, continued many of the Han's policies while also experiencing notable artistic and literary advancements. The Lushi Chuanqiu, a collection of philosophical and literary essays, exemplified the intellectual currents of the time. The Southern and Northern Dynasties period, 420 to 589, marked a departure from the centralized rule of previous eras with a divided China split between northern and southern regions. Despite this fragmentation, cultural achievements continued to thrive. The Peony Pavilion, a masterpiece of Chinese poetry, painted vivid pictures of the natural world and human emotions. Buddhist art also flourished during this period, evident in the magnificent sculptures found at the Yungang Grottos. The Sui dynasty, which reigned from 581 to 618, played a pivotal role in reunifying China and initiating the prosperous Tang dynasty. Emperor Wen of Sui successfully reunited the north and south, laying the groundwork for the subsequent Golden Age under the Tang. The Tang dynasty, spanning from 618 to 907 AD, is widely celebrated as a high point in Chinese civilization. It was an era of territorial expansion, economic prosperity, and cultural brilliance. The arts flourished during the Tang, leaving behind exquisite poetry, painting, and sculpture. Poets like Li Bai and Du Fu captured the essence of the era with their timeless verses. Landscape painting reached new heights with artists like Wang Wei and Li Chong, while the graceful figures of the time found expression in the art of Yangzhou. The cosmopolitan capital city of Chang'an became a hub of international exchange, attracting merchants, scholars, and diplomats from across the globe. However, the latter part of the Tang dynasty witnessed growing instability leading to its demise in 907 and the subsequent Five Dynasties and Ten Kingdoms period. This era of political fragmentation eventually paved the way for the Song dynasty. The Song dynasty, which lasted from 960 to 1279, marked a significant chapter in Chinese history. The Northern Song period, 960 to 1127, was marked by rapid economic growth, technological innovation, and a cultural renaissance. Under the rule of the Song emperors, China experienced a surge in population, urbanization, and international trade. Cities like Hangzhou and Kaifeng became hubs of commerce and innovation. The development of new technologies such as the magnetic compass and gunpowder further enhanced Chinese capabilities in navigation and warfare. Additionally, the Song's adoption of Neo-Confucianism as a state ideology helped shape a distinct cultural identity. Figures like Zhu Xi and Zhang Zai synthesized Confucian, Buddhist, and Taoist ideas, emphasizing ethical conduct and moral cultivation. The song also witnessed the rise of landscape painting as a major genre, with artists like Fan Quan and Guo Shi capturing the grandeur and serenity of China's natural landscapes. The Southern Song, 1127 to 1279, though characterized by political fragmentation, continued the legacy of cultural and technological advancement. Despite facing external pressures from the advancing Mongol armies, the Southern Song Court in Hangzhou remained a center of intellectual and artistic activity. Inventions like the movable type printing press by Baisheng revolutionized the dissemination of knowledge. But with the arrival of Kublai Khan and the Mongol Empire, the Song dynasty came to an end. Thus concludes our journey through ancient China, a civilization that not only shaped its own destiny, but profoundly influenced the course of world history. From the early dynasties along the Yellow River to the cosmopolitan heights of the Tang and Song, China's story is one of resilience, innovation, and cultural brilliance. The philosophies of Confucius, the inventions of paper and gunpowder, the artistic achievements of its masters, all stand as testaments to human ingenuity and the enduring legacy of this ancient civilization. As we conclude this episode, remember that history is a tapestry woven with countless stories, each contributing to the rich fabric of our collective past. Your support means that more of these stories will be brought to life. Like and share if you enjoyed this episode, and stay tuned for more exciting journeys through history. And if you have a favorite moment from our time in ancient China, drop it in the comments. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep discovering the wonders of our ancient world.